Hello, everybody. It is Monday, 7 o'clock. We are in the beautiful studios in Port Richey, Florida. And tonight is the 20th episode of 62 Who Knew. We want to thank you for being here. Of course, this is my co-host, or co-hostess. That would be more correctly. Co-hostess, Ms. Nada Cerrito. See, I said it right, Nada, with an A. And our guest tonight, Mr. Colin Castle. Welcome. We're going to get to you in about 2 minutes.
Thanks, sir.
So glad you're here. Yeah, we met... God, how long ago did we meet? A couple months ago?
Yep.
A few
Yes,
months
sir.
ago?
Yes, sir.
At my favorite place in Dunedin, shameless plug, Benedict's, best breakfast and lunch in the world, in Dunedin. And it took a while to get our schedules together.
Yes.
But there's no doubt what you do is just 62 Who Knew at its best. It's something incredible.
Thank you.
But as usual, I want to start out with a couple of items. Number one, I want to thank Miss Debbie Bain from last week. Oh my, was that a great show? We got so much interest that we just did. We got a tremendous amount of interest for the services that Debbie does, and with Prism Health Advisors, or Advocates, I should say. And it was just a great show. Very similar to when Carol Golden was on from NAFA, Carol Cerrito. We have grown from 0 in the last 20 weeks to a little more than 21,000 viewers per week, and we continue to grow. And I always say that's because of our great guests, and I really want to thank everybody out there. So just for a quick second, before we go to tonight's guest, we are going to discuss, or at least disclaim, what is 62 Who Knew for our new viewers out there. 62 Who Knew was created, quite frankly, because of the double-edged sword, if you would say, of longer lifespans. It is amazing to me in my regular job. No, I'm not a high-paid TV host. In my regular job as a mortgage professional that specializes in reverse mortgages throughout the country, it has always amazed me the last few years how the world doesn't realize what longer lifespans has done to us. But right now, if you make it to the age 62, which is when people really get serious about retiring, they might plan on it in their 50s. In fact, if they're smart, they'll plan on it their whole life, but most people don't. But when you get to that 62, that's when, should I take my Social Security? Should I defer it? How late am I going to work? Damn it, maybe I shouldn't have canceled that life insurance. I can't believe I don't have accident and health or disability. That's when it all rushes forward at 62. Thus the neat name, 62 Who Knew. And what didn't we know? We didn't know that based on today's averages, we are going to live from the age 62 probably to 90 or higher. And it's kind of unbelievable to think about that you're going to be alive half the time that you've already been alive. You're going to live that 50% of that more. And the truth of the matter is only about 1% of this great country is prepared for that financially, mentally, emotionally. So the whole purpose of 62 Who Knew is to bring on guests whose level of expertise and products and services are just geared to making that experience from 62 to 90 or 95 a great experience. And this guest is going to do that as well because, like I said, when we met, I went to your website at first. And well, let me give the normal little thing. I only do a little synopsis of you, and then I let you take over. Tonight's guest, as I said before, is Mr. Colin Castle. Colin is the Director of Sales and Marketing at Home Instead Senior Care. And just to give you a little background, I know we're going to put up your website in a little bit, but a little background. Home Instead Senior Care is a multinational network of franchises specializing in non-medical in-home care for the elderly, and we want to talk about that. This is what got me, like what was that Tom Cruise movie where she says, "You got me at hello"? What was that?
Well, it was Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. Well, this is where there's no doubt about it that Home Instead got me, because this is the sentence that's on your website. Mm-hmm. In support of seniors in this country today, aging in place. And that's what it's about, aging in place, yes, because people live longer at home.
Correct.
Every study, everything, and companies like yours throughout the country make that possible. And I think that's incredible. Maybe corny, but I really, really do.
Well,
so tell us a little how you got into this. I've read your background on LinkedIn. You have an extensive background. Why in-home care? How did you get into this?
Well, I stumbled into it a little bit. Met my wife. My wife, Julie, actually she's owned this for going into her 16th, 17th year. So she started this back in 2002 when her grandmother had vascular dementia. And unfortunately, that time period before, the facilities, the communities that exist today didn't exist then. It was primarily you had one choice, which was a nursing home.
Right.
And that was a tough decision for any family, even today or back then. And Julie and her mom struggled with that decision. Ultimately, they had to put her in because of the dementia.
Right.
But they wanted to know and try to figure out a better way to doing it. And they stumbled across Home Instead Senior Care. And as soon as they heard about it, they bought into the franchise. And she's been growing it ever since. I met Julie about 7 years ago. And I had been in professional sales and management for 20 plus years.
I saw that in your background.
And it doesn't always go hand in hand, but when we all look back at our life experiences, I wish I would have known about Home Instead Senior Care or this industry as a whole when I was going through it with my mom. I would have loved to have had some of the resources, some of the information to be able to help me, with my mom. Going even before then, my brother was actually my grandmother's full-time caregiver, actually moved in with her, and that actually took a toll on his life, a very stressful toll.
Absolutely.
And so, again, I would love to have known about this. So when I met Julie and we started talking about it, and we ended up getting, married back in 2014,
right.
we were... we made the decision that I was going to leave my career and come over here, and I hadn't looked back ever since.
Isn't it amazing
embraced it.
that you got into something? Well, so many people. We've had 2 or 3 of the foremost long-term care insurance experts in the country, if not, in this part of the hemisphere, on our show. And all 3 of them got into it because of something with their mom and dad, and you're going through it right now.
Yes,
you've
am.
discussed it before with your dad.
With my dad. Same thing as with your mom.
Yep.
It's we're going to live older, but we got to take care of everybody.
Yeah, and all the families that we deal with have the same hurdles with it. And I think part of what we try to do is to give them resources to work through it. Not to plug it, but one of my favorite things to offer families is a simple a book and a workbook called the 40-70 rule or the 70-40 rule. It's what your 40-something-year-old self should be talking to your 70-year-old parents about, and vice versa. Your 70-year-old self, what should you be talking about to your 40-year-old children about? And that is, and the workbook is about 50 pages long, and it covers every topic that you would think probably don't want to talk to your parents about.
Right.
But it goes from death and burial to wills and power of attorneys and all the things that, again, most of us don't understand being in our 40s or 50s.
Right.
Even simple things that if mom or dad becomes incapacitated, how do the bills get paid?
Yeah.
Just as simple things like that. So I always, regardless if you choose, staying at home or going into a community, you should always understand what the whole process is. To your point, how the aging process works.
Yeah.
And again, no matter where you stay, you should still know what you should have prepared for when those times come that you have to go into a community, you have to go into a facility, or you stay at home, or unfortunately, your parents pass.
Yeah.
You need to be able to know what to do in every step of the way.
Well, you brought up 2, again, staggering topics that a lot of people don't think about. Number one is the stress, like you talked about for your brother. People don't get this on the caretaker. And I think it was either Bill Comfort or Mark Goldberg, the long-term care experts that we had on, that had chilling statistics about the caregivers predeceasing the people they were caring for because of the stress involved.
Correct.
That blew my mind.
It is a dynamic that, I can only talk about real world experience, but it is a dynamic that is unbelievable, that we get calls from caregivers just saying, I can't do it anymore. Family caregivers, I can't do it anymore. My blood pressure is now worse than my parents' blood pressure, or my anxiety is worse than the spouse. And that's when they don't know. The other statistics, and it's been bounced around, so we could take all of our industry as a whole, and Home Instead's $1 billion organization. But if we take our other competitors and things of that nature, we're still only maybe 20%.
Yeah, you're in infant stages.
Well, I'm talking about the unpaid. We only represent about 1/4 of the total caregiving population out there. The other 75% are family caregivers.
That's right.
They're unpaid family caregivers, and that's why I advocate for a lot more to be talked about with that, because there needs to be help for those individuals.
Absolutely. That was just pretty much perfect timing. We're going to go for our first break, and then we're going to be right back. Thank you.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time.
Come meet Dr. B.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Hi, my name is Mike Banner, and in addition to being the host of the 62 Who Knew television show, I am also the president of Professional Mortgage Alliance, where our passion is helping seniors entering retirement purchase their dream retirement home without the obligation of a monthly principal and interest payment. Please call me at 727-224-3859 or visit my website at professionalmortgagealliance.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Kennedy, your real estate expert here in the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton area. I've spent years developing myself, studying the industry so I can serve you and communicate with you the best way possible in your real estate transaction. My phone number is 941-807-2054, or please visit my website at lisamariekennedy.com.
Welcome back. We were having fun on the break because there's just so much to talk about on this particular topic. But in this segment, I know you have a few questions. So, ta-da.
You finally got to
We
say
don't
it.
have a band. I don't know why John doesn't give us a band in the back. Johnny Carson has one. Jay Leno had one. What's going on here?
I don't know. We
All right, so-
definitely need a band.
Ta-da.
Thank you. So I want to know, because my dad right now is in a long-term care facility, and we're battling whether he's able to go home, whether my mom can take care of him, insurance and all that. So I want to know if the non-medical part is covered by insurances, whether it be Medicare, Medicaid, or or if it has to be out of pocket.
So let's take each one of those piece and piece at a time. So Medicaid primarily is for clients that are lower income or financially unable to pay for care in general, health care or medical care in home. So if he's on Medicaid, he's going to be underneath a state-funded managed care program. Okay, that would be something that the provider will determine if he or she can come home and stay at home safe, because they're going to give typically 12 to 24 hours a week, and you have to be able to be secure enough to stay there for those other times. You move on to Medicare. Medicare to date has not covered for our type of coverage for in non-medical and home. They will actually absolutely pay for medical home health care, a nurse to come in for an hour here and there. They're starting to have a dynamic shift with the Medicare Advantage plans that was just recently opened up for the providers to offer in the Medicare Part C. That's kind of that supplemental section of Medicare.
That takes the place of the traditional Med Sup policy.
Correct, and you can also add on features to it. Like you would a typical health plan, you'd add a dental or a vision plan. They actually do have a non-medical that is starting to come out more and more. It's in its very infant stages, but again, in a year or two, there's a good possibility that could be a very strong vehicle for seniors to access, in addition to long-term care policies, things of that nature.
So that's on the Advantage plan.
That's on the Advantage plan. Again, infancy stage. This is year 1, 2019.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect a lot. I would expect more changes than I would anything else with it. And then we move into long-term care. Insurance plans. Those are primarily one of the avenues that most of our clients pay with. We probably have about a quarter of our clients that actually pay via a long-term care insurance plan. Bankers Life, a Colonial Life, those type of individuals are companies that offer those. And those are simple. They are, you have your elimination period. How long do you have to have an event before you can access your policy? Then you have your daily limit. So it could be from $75 to $150 a day,
right?
And that can be for in-home care, or it could be for an assisted living, or long-term care nursing home,
right?
Okay, and then you could have a lifetime maximum. How long, will they pay the benefit for? So if your dad has a long-term care policy, I would encourage to open up a claim today, get the clock starting on the elimination period, understand what their daily max is, and find out if your infrastructure, be it family or with our help. Again, we're not looking at 24-hour care for us. That's not feasible for all families.
Right.
But what we want to do is we want to look at the pieces of the infrastructure of the family. The family can only take care of mom or dad for maybe 10 or 15 hours a day. Well, great, then we need to be there. Mom and dad might be able to be alone for a couple hours. So where's their risk? Where's that that pocket of risk? That's where a company like us should come in and assist families. Now that pocket could be 8 to 5 because you have to still have a job, you have your kids, or it could be overnight care because again you have to be at home, but we can be there just for safety's sake. So there's a lot of different, it's not a box. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
No.
It is very much customized to each client. And so, yes, each one of those type of insurances has their pluses and minuses. The long-term care insurance is absolutely one of the ones that we have a lot of our clients access.
Okay.
Well, 62 who knew is a big proponent of long-term care insurance, and like my first passion, reverse mortgages, long-term care insurance is totally misunderstood by the public.
Absolutely.
It's so misunderstood, as bad as reverse mortgages, if not worse. Everybody thinks it's nursing home coverage, when in fact it's anti-nursing home coverage.
Correct.
And again, we always get back to those statistics and those medical studies. People live longer at home. People disagree about reverse mortgages. They disagree about long-term care insurance, but everybody agrees. You live longer at home.
Absolutely.
And having the right type of insurance keeps you at home.
Even the medical industry is starting to
Yeah.
say that now.
Absolutely.
That, with the bundled payments, they want people out of the hospital faster,
right.
out of rehab faster, and back at home because it absolutely, and I can again speak to my own grandmother and my mother, plain and simple, they were going to pass away in their homes. That's where all their memories were. That's where they raised their kids.
Surrounded by their children and their loved
Well,
ones.
just the present, even just the presence of the place that they're ultra comfortable versus, and I'll be a little cynical, versus a 400 square foot, room.
Yeah, I know.
Then you might share with somebody.
Yeah.
So I think most people would prefer to pass away or live whatever life they have left. I speak for me. I want my recliner, my remote, and my TV.
That's
Makes
what I
me
want.
happy.
Yeah.
That's all I want now, and I'm not
Absolutely.
even close to dying. I just want my recliner and my remote.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all I really need out of life.
Exactly.
Bring me some Chinese food 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm fine. One of the things that you said earlier, though, that I know that the last 6 months of my dad's life, we had 24-hour care.
Yes.
But it really started out with, can someone just come in at night because I couldn't sleep? Because we had a monitor. I mean, I hate to say it was a baby monitor, but that's what it is.
Right.
And we had a house with 2 master bedrooms on opposite sides of the house. And Dad was still pretty cool, about 18 months before he left us. But he was weak, and there was a couple of accidents in the bathroom where I had to lift him up. And, he was 6 feet tall, 240 pounds. That's a lot of, I hate to say dead weight, but a lot of weight for me to lift. But I had my son there and my daughter to help. But finally, I realized I couldn't run the mortgage company. I was like this all day. So, I said, look, I can be with them all day. I can work from home. Just give me my laptop. I can run the mortgage company. But I got to get some sleep. I mean, I was a wreck. So we brought someone in. It sounded funny, but just to watch him sleep and to walk with him to the bathroom and make sure he got back in bed.
Correct.
Absolutely.
But
That's when it's scary, though.
yeah,
at
that's
night.
when it's scary, the middle of the night.
Well,
Absolutely.
you actually have, and just to put in perspective, our clients range from mostly about a couple of hours a day, a few times a week, all the way to 24-hour care. But the vast majority of our clients just need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And typically when I talk to families, the help is around the risks time.
Yeah.
And typically where our moms and dads are mostly at risk is in the morning. Blood pressure is low, they're waking up, accidents happen mostly in the bathroom.
Yep.
Okay, so that's when they're at risk. They're also, once they get up and they get moving, they're pretty good. Blood pressure's good. Unless an event happens, they're comfortable. They're sitting on the couch, they're doing their little chores, they're in their routine. Then you have the nighttime when they become tired again. Their judgment is not as what it used to be. They need to cook dinner, they need to get maybe a shower, a bath if they're a nighttime person. They get their pajamas on and go to bed. So typically when I talk to families is I kind of give them two scenarios. Should we be there when the client is at their most risk? Or should we be there when the client's at their best and they want to get out and do things? So that's kind of a challenge that I kind of have families talk about, because it's without being there 12 hours a day, when do you need us to be there? For the risk or for the per se fun? Mom wants to get out, she still has a social life, her bridge clubs, she gets her hair done, those doctor's appointments.
And your people help bring them to that? So I never knew they leave the house.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, we drive all of our patients to their doctor's appointments, social events, dinner, grocery shopping, anything and everything. What we are is, I like to tell a lot of families, we're just an extension of mom or dad, from 20 years ago. So we're just, in some cases, the gentleman, because they don't like the word caregiver,
Right.
We're a personal assistant.
Yeah.
Our caregivers, be it a male or female, is just there to assist you with what you need, your household chores. What do you need to get done? And if that's for a man, if that's simply as I want to go to Home Depot, I just want to walk around, I want to be my man. You do that. Or if it's grocery shopping or a doctor's appointment. If it's the ladies, that could be from household chores, laundry, light housekeeping, all the way through, again, grocery shopping, medical appointments, hair, nails, going to see their girlfriends. Whatever.
Go to a movie, something like that too? 'Cause I
dinner.
never realized that.
There's really nothing we can't do or don't do for our clients. It's all the way to that line of medical. So once we hit that line of having to do sort of a medical procedure, administer medication, that's where our top stop hits.
Right.
But if you think about how many, that's why people ask, can you tell me all of your, what do you do?
It's unlimited.
I could talk for days about all the different scenarios. Do you want the unique ones? We took Grandma to Disney for her family.
Aww.
The reason why is the family wanted us to come because when Mom hits 11, 12 o'clock, she's tired.
Yeah.
That heat of the day, so the caregiver and the mom can go back to the hotel,
and the kids can
relax, and the kids and the parents can continue on through the day.
Right.
And then she can rejoin them later in the day when the heat's subsided or they're going for dinner. So she gets to see all the highlights.
That's incredible.
Or he does.
Yeah.
But they don't have to pay the price of the sacrifice of the family. Doesn't have to, the kids don't have to miss out, or they don't have to sit around.
That's
and
great
be
for
idle.
the elderly, for moms. Psychologically to go, I'm part of this, but I'm not a drain. I'm not hurting the kids.
Correct.
What an
Absolutely.
incredible service. I never realized that.
Well, not only that, also I think for my mom, because she had somebody helping her when my dad's in the facility right now, but prior he was home and he has dementia, so she had some respite care and some home health. But I think a lot of it is just having the company.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just having the company that you can depend on somebody. She would look forward to seeing her. They become friends, and I think loneliness is, really hard.
Terrible thing.
It is
a terrible thing.
Well, I can tell you the success of our company or any company in the industry is not our brand. It's not the employees of the office staff. It is 100% our caregivers.
Absolutely.
Our relationships make or break our success. Period. End of story. And you're 100% right. The relationships that we have with our families and our clients and the family, our caregivers are above reproach in some families. They're the ones
They're
in
the
charge.
heroes.
Yeah.
Well, they're like she knows mom the best. Whatever she says goes.
Right.
And it's a unique and wonderful thing to watch, but it's all about the relationship.
It really is.
This
It really
has got to extend life. It's just got to extend life.
Without talking too many stories, I can give you, without saying it, one that we have now been going on probably 6 years, well past the date that he was told he was no longer going to be here.
He's got something to look forward to. He's still doing stuff.
Correct. Every day his caregiver gets him up, and as long as he's able, they go fishing, they go wherever
you got
they
something
want
to
to
live
go out.
for.
Arts, Dolly Museum, wherever it is, there she is getting him out every day.
We got about 20 seconds left in this segment. It just goes too quick. But one of the things I want to add, there's a few things, but when we come back for the third segment, you take it right up to the medical. So I'm assuming there are times that you coordinate with the skilled nursing, go, we'll be here there, but now we need his diabetes shot. He needs
Correct.
his insulin. So you do coordinate that.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. Just great information. Again, thank you so much for being here. We got 2 more segments left. And I know this is going to affect every one of our listeners and viewers at one point in their lives. So I hope you're paying attention. All right, let's go for our second break. Thank you.
One bee that loves going to the dentist. I am Dr. B.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time.
Come meet Dr. B.
I'll be calorie-free.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Hi, my name is Mike Banner, and in addition to being the host of the 62 Who Knew television show, I am also the president of Professional Mortgage Alliance, where our passion is helping seniors entering retirement purchase their dream retirement home without the obligation of a monthly principal and interest payment. Please call me at 727-224-3859 or visit my website at professionalmortgagealliance.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Kennedy, your real estate expert here in the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton area. I spent years developing myself, studying the industry so I can serve you and communicate with you the best way possible in your real estate transaction. My phone number is 941-807-2054, or please visit my website at lisamariekennedy.com.
Thank you. We're back for the third segment. We were talking about what we were going to do in the third segment on the break, but Colin said something that was not part of our topic, and I said, explain that and the figures that you came up with. I mean, this is math. It's not emotion. This is real. People have to pay attention to this. You said, and I quote, Pinellas County has a math problem.
It does.
I said, what do you mean? Could you repeat what you just told Nate?
Absolutely. Now, this is from the Area Agency on Aging, and those are the folks that handle federal money, grant, state money to help seniors in place. That could be from case management to guardianship, things of that nature. They use census data. Matter of fact, we'll have a new PSA coming out after the census is done. They take the census data of the population from all age groups, but specifically in Pinellas County, the last PSA, we had over 200,000 seniors that live in
Just
Pinellas County. Of those, 25%, were at or over 125% of the poverty line. And what I mean by a math equation is when you look at all of the possible beds in Pinellas County for assisted living, independent living, and even skilled nursing homes do not add up to the 55,000 people that are at or 125% below the poverty line, let alone any of the other 150,000 people that are above that line that may need access to assisted living or a memory care unit or skilled nursing home.
Even if they can afford it, they can't find it.
There's a math problem.
That's a staggering fact.
Correct.
That is unarguable.
And as the population ages, now obviously it's 65, you don't, most likely,
right.
The odds are you don't need one of those facilities. But as that baby boomer generation continues to age and hits, say, 70, 75, 80, 85, it unfortunately is a math problem, because if there's large percentage of folks that are still living,
right,
that's going to stress that infrastructure greatly. And in Pinellas County, we're not building new.
No.
Not even tearing down, because most municipalities don't want you to go up.
Right.
So there's only so much you can build in a landlocked county like Pinellas is.
Yeah, so it's the same problem, the real estate market, and one of the, I said this during the break, and I'm going to be more bold than usual. One of the mistakes I made the first 19 weeks of the show is I never really wanted to hawk any product. I never wanted anyone to go, he's a national reverse mortgage speaker. The show is just for that. It's not for that. I think we've proved that in the last 20 weeks. But when you quote things like that, and I think to myself, how many reverse mortgages are closed, not by my little company, but in the entire state of Florida, let alone Pinellas County, why people aren't availing themselves to a reverse mortgage to pay off their present mortgage. And let's say it's a small mortgage, it's $600 a month, it's $700 a month. There's their 5 or 10 hours a week to make life better. Or maybe they have a free and clear house. It's amazing how many people close to the poverty line bought their house in Florida in the 50s and 60s, got a 20 or 30-year mortgage, paid it off. Today they're living close to the poverty line. They have to wait for their Social Security check before they can go to CVS to get their medicine. But their house is free and clear.
Correct.
And then you said something that's near and dear to my heart. Use the money. Well, you tell them. What should they be using that money for?
Again, one man's opinion.
Two men's.
And something that I see every day in the homes we visit is the homes are not accommodating to people as they age. So it's great when you're a young, spritey young folk and you can go into a bathroom with a 28-inch door and the commode and the bathtub literally are inches apart. But when you think about the next phase, when you have to have a caregiver in there with you, where are they going to fit? Let alone, where's a walker going to go? Where's a wheelchair potentially going to go? And when you look at accidents, there's some numbers out there as high as 80% of all of the incidents that happen at home in our elderly happen in the bathroom. Tripping and falling.
My dad was an example of that.
Correct. Yeah. So anytime I get to talk to senior groups, I always talk about modifying your home, because that's the one thing that will absolutely keep you from being able to stay in your home. If your home is not capable of sustaining you and your medical equipment that you might need as you age, then you're going to have no choice except to go to a community, unfortunately. So I encourage people to remodel and get 36-inch wide doors. Pull the sink out. Take out the tubs and just put a walk-in shower. Wheel-in shower, literally for it, with it. So
the bars near the toilet to help get up. I mean,
well, simple things. Even you say that simple things. I've installed probably since with a contractor friend of mine. I've probably had installed maybe 50 bars, not inside the tub, but literally in the bathroom, right where the paper or the towel rack is across from the toilet. Because and I hate to call us men out, but what most men do in the bathroom when you're trying to get up, they're leaning forward trying to grab that bar and use that to pull off.
That's right.
And we've had 2 or 3 clients over the years that
that's not
hurt
made for that.
No. So we've put
Where it breaks off.
bar. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, of course.
We put a bar right in there into the studs, and then they're able to grab simple things like that. That's a $70 fix.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think most, not that I'm going to have to down the man a little too, because it took a while. It took a couple of accidents in my house for my dad to say, fine, do something about the bathroom. I mean, as soon as the first time that, well, actually, it was the first time that he really couldn't get off the head. If he was still alive, he'd kill me for saying this on TV. And he yelled out to me, and I went, what's up? And he goes, just help me out, because he was annoyed. You know, this is, he was a World War II veteran, POW. We did so many great things with each other our whole life, and he was upset. I got to call my son to get me off the, off the toilet. He said, this is not good. So let me get the stuff for the bathroom.
Correct.
No, I don't need it. I was just a little weak today. But within a week of getting it done, when he finally gave in, because you also can't argue.
No.
When he was ready, I said, okay. And you're right. I think we spent less than $300 for certain bars, one in the bathroom. We'd already put it in the walk-in tub.
Correct.
And he came out with a smile on his face and went, you're right. This makes life easier.
But you know what you also did for him, which is something that we preach a lot of. You still are giving the independence and their dignity and their pride still to the senior, because the reality is no one wants to have that role reversal of a parent and a child.
Yeah.
Or go into that, I'll say, to the baby mode. And not to be blunt, but no one wants to wear diapers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, no kid didn't really want to. No adult really wants to.
And no one wants to bathe their father either.
Correct.
I
So
mean-
as long as we can give them to do simple things like that and give their dignity, our job as a caregiving agency is not to go in there, and I would tell the audience, our job is not to go in there and take over and come in and give you a bath. That's not our job. It's not our job to violate your privacy. Our job is there to make you feel safe and comfortable for you to be able to bathe. So if you do need assistance, we absolutely will be there for you. But it's not our job, not unless you want us to be, is to cross that personal boundary line.
Yeah.
So we want to give you those grab bars. We want to set the bathroom up so you can go in there independently, do your relaxation, and we'll be on the other side of the door just waiting for you to ask us for help.
Yeah, what you're saying really hits home, because I don't think people realize it. Children don't realize it until it's really happening to mom and dad. But that independence, I even think, again, going out to a movie or shopping or something like that is probably easier with a stranger than saying to your son or daughter, I need to go to Publix, but I'm not sure I can drive. My dad would never say that to me. He would risk everybody's life on Highway 19 and just go do it.
Correct.
With his left turn signal on like everybody else in their 80s in Florida. But again, the service you provide, I don't think people forget what it costs. Okay, not everybody can afford it, but It's not really that expensive either. It really isn't. We usually don't discuss money, and we don't need to. Don't worry. But I've looked at the prices. It's very reachable, especially compared to skilled nursing.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
And that really is the comparison.
Correct.
And then you also have to compare it, really and truly, to loss of wages. I mean, if I would have known some of this was available, my dad's been gone 14 and a half years.
Correct.
I would have made a lot more money being at the mortgage company than working at home with my Dell computer. But I wanted to make sure Dad was safe.
Well, there's also and again, coming as a son, there are lines, not that I had to bathe my mom, but there are lines that I had to cross as a son that I really, and it's a bell I can't unring with the relationship. Unfortunately, my mom and I didn't have at the very end because it was a really big role reversal. So we do have something that I say to a lot of clients is your job is to be the daughter. Our job is to be the bad guy in a lot of ways. So because if you think about the dynamics that we have, it is a role reversal for the sons and daughters to suddenly become the parent. And that's huge. That's a very tough role reversal. So I always go back to that independence. You stay being a daughter, you stay being a son. Let us come in and talk to mom or dad about getting help, because you're 100% right. They absolutely will ask us to do things and it will frustrate you because you're like, I'm your son, I'm your daughter. Why? Because it's a dignity, it's a pride thing. But with us, it's not. So I like it because, again, the daughters, when they come over or the sons come over, it's not about what do we need to do. It's Mom, Dad, how are you doing?
That's right.
I just want to hang out with you.
Yeah, let's watch. Yeah,
it's a big. To me, that's a dynamic that is not talked about or said enough of, and that's one of the things I would love to have known about for my brother and myself and others. Just to be able to know that someone could have been in and had those tougher conversations.
It's hard to have
with Mom or Dad, and let me not have any blood shed with that, because it's everybody knows that. Some of those are tough conversations.
Yeah, the role reversal is very hard on the parent. It just is. But that's exactly what it is. And the older they get, now, of course, with modern technology and science today, it's different. I mean, let's face it, my grandparents, in their 80s, they sat home and they watched TV, and I'm going to date myself, and they watched Lawrence Welk and blah, 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 and the house smelled like, Maalox and mothballs. And today, I mean, that's what it did, and that's what it did. But, and they lived in a senior community.
Absolutely.
It was a condominium, but it really was, might as well have been Crips. But they were very nice. They did make it to the clubhouse to play pinochle and stuff. But today, I mean, look at our reverse mortgage clients. People are 82. They're playing golf 5 times a week. They're taking world cruises.
Correct.
And when that time for that person comes, that they can't go to Publix or they need some help, it's so hard on those people mentally.
Right.
So again, I think your service is... It's why people are going to live longer.
And another little quick funny statistic is the largest growing population of IT adopters, computer adopters, Facebook adopters, social media adopters is 65 plus.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
Amazing.
Because that's how they are staying in contact with their family.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're staying in, FaceTime, seeing their grandchildren.
That's incredible.
Because they can't drive, they can't fly.
Yeah.
Then it's uncomfortable because maybe they don't want to stay in a hotel. They don't want to.
No, definitely not.
A burden on their children.
So Facebook does have a positive effect on some people.
FaceTime as well.
Who would have known it would be 65 and above? With about 15 seconds left in our third segment, we'll come back for our last segment. One of the things that my favorite comedian, Jerry Seinfeld, says, and it is true, is that when you have this role reversal, your first birthday and your last birthday are exactly the same. Mm-hmm. You're wearing a diaper, you have cake all over your face, and you have no idea why all these people are around you. That's your first and your last birthdays. That's thanks to Jerry Seinfeld. We'll be back for our last segment in a minute.
Onesie that loves going to the dentist. I am Dr. B.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time.
Come meet Dr. B.
A big calorie free.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Hi, my name is Mike Banner, and in addition to being the host of the 62 Who Knew television show, I am also the president of Professional Mortgage Alliance, where our passion is helping seniors entering retirement purchase their dream retirement home without the obligation of a monthly principal and interest payment. Please call me at 727-224-3859 or visit my website at professionalmortgagealliance.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Kennedy, your real estate expert here in the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton area. I spent years developing myself, studying the industry so I can serve you and communicate with you the best way possible in your real estate transaction. My phone number is 941-807-2054, or please visit my website at lisamariekennedy.com.
and we're back. And as always, not going as planned, but going very well. But we discussed something, or you brought something up that I had no idea about.
And it's really awesome.
It's really
Very
awesome. So you take that.
And I think it's really wonderful. Tell us about the charity that you're doing. I think it's really fantastic.
So it is an offshoot of Home Instead, but a number of years ago, about a decade or so ago, Home Instead started a program called Be a Santa to a Senior. My wife had been running it, and then when I came on board, I had always embraced philanthropy and the community outreach, because I believe if you're going to be doing business in the community, you have to give back to the community. That's where you live in. I grew up in Largo. I grew up in Pinellas County. I want to give back to it. So I grabbed that little charity and ran with it. We formed our own local 501c3. It's called Be a Santa to a Senior of Pinellas. What we do is we actually adopt seniors that live in Medicaid nursing homes, and we adopt them at Christmas time and at Mother's and Father's Day, and we give them clothing, hygiene products, some nice to have, some nice things, costume jewelry, maybe a frame, men razors, things of that nature. Most people go, well, don't they get that from the facility? Not really. If you think about and most of these people are on Medicaid, most of that money, about 99%, goes to the facility to take care of the care and the room and board and food. The other 1% might go to the senior. Well, most of them are not getting brand new clothing. They're getting, unfortunately, last residence clothing or hospital garb. We believe that these seniors, it's their last stop.
Yeah.
We want to be able to give them some nice things. And I was hooked on my first year. We went to a facility, and I'm about 6'3", 270, and I was a crying, snoveling fool my first year, because I had met a resident, and she had a typical, a nightgown or day shirt, tattered, clothing or stains on it. And someone had given her a brand new complete pajama set, slippers, and a robe. She couldn't get her aide to bring her to a room fast enough to change. And I will tell you, there was a dynamic change in that young lady's face. She was she was happy it was Christmas, but was sullen. She came back like it was a kid that just got a brand new toy. And when I saw her face, I didn't, and that's when that's my word I use, perspective. I didn't have perspective. And I suddenly got perspective like a baseball bat in my face, because I didn't realize it. As soon as I realized it, sold. And so this year we're going to do just shy of 2,000 seniors in Pinellas County.
Oh my God! Wait a minute, is that just your franchise? That's not all of?
No, just us in Pinellas County. And I don't do it alone. I have worked a lot of great relationships with companies, and I get individuals to adopt a facility and take care of it. But that's the only way to grow it. Community has been fantastic. Bell's Outlets has been fantastic, a lot of other organizations, but we've been able to grow it year over year to be able to support 2,000 seniors and even growing next year, just in Pinellas County. So we're only scratching the surface.
I bet.
Again, that number 55,000.
Yeah,
I'm only hitting 2.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
That's just amazing.
It is.
I have to ask, not to make you look better and other franchisees look worse, but are any of the other franchises doing this or something similar?
Absolutely. I maybe have not formed their own charity,
right?
But most people operate underneath the Be a Santa to a Senior. Matter of fact, the owners right here in West Pasco, they do a great job. I believe they've adopted just shy of 1,000 seniors. My partners over in Hillsborough County, the Campbells, they are actually in my neighborhood. They do about 1,500 or so. Everybody enjoys it because it is a great give back to the community, and I think most of us realize our seniors deserve it. I mean, we are still talking about the greatest generation. It's some of the stories that I get to hear are wonderful stories.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have a client that grew up in the Depression.
Yeah.
And I love going over his house because I get to hear great, even if they're probably lies, they're still great stories.
That's right. And there's going to be a certain amount of truth in it.
I don't mind that because they're great stories.
The greatest generation, I know the audience is going to go, oh, please don't go into your dissertation again, but they were, anytime I get a chance to say this, I just do. A lot of the younger generation thinks that's a nickname.
It is.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
They are the greatest and were and will always be the greatest generation. And that's not really an opinion, because the fact of the matter is They came home from World War II in 1945. They destroyed the Empire of Japan. That's just true.
Yep.
They got rid of Germany and Hitler. They literally saved the world. They didn't save the country. They saved the world. So they come home in 1945, and you'd think they could put their feet up, on the porch, and go, what more do you want from us? We saved the planet. But instead, then went on to build the infrastructure of the greatest country in the history of history.
Industrial
From Wall
yeah.
Street to the space race to first person to break the speed of sound, greatest generation. First person to do a heart transplant, greatest generation. First person to do a liver transplant, first person to walk on the moon. This is that generation. Now, we've had some good generations follow. We've also had some schmucky ones, to be honest with you. More than one. But they're dying out at about 4,000 per day. This is what I do, the greatest generation stuff, and soon they will be gone. And once they're gone, it's going to be hard for anyone to match up to that. Although I have to say the younger generation of today, even though a lot of people make fun of them, especially me sometimes, but the armed forces that we have today, and we try never to get political on 62, 100% all volunteer armed forces. What incredible men and women. Just so incredible. I don't know if we've seen bravery like that since the 1930s and the 1940s, especially fighting an enemy like we are today that really and truly do not go by Red Cross or the Geneva Convention. They blow people up. They blow babies up. So we have a chance of this generation, and like the World War II generation, I know I'm getting off topic here, they're coming home to a country that just came out of its greatest recession. Unemployment is down, but it still sucks. They're coming home to a troubled nation, politically and economically, and many of them are coming home and doing incredible things. So this generation of young men and women, they have a shot at being the second greatest generation. Didn't mean to go off on a tangent.
No, you're 100. My father served. My father served in the Air Force for just short of 27 years. He tried to retire and raise me, but unfortunately, I lost him when I was 11.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But he gave it a shot. But he had a great career in the military, and I respected it. I have friends that are in the military. My stepson actually joined the Army. He's having a good career, and I think it's an endeavor that is absolutely to be proud of. So all those folks that served absolutely should be proud. I'm proud of them. I'm very, anytime I can say thank you, I say thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What incredible people.
Absolutely.
And to get back to you and the company for a second.
Sure.
You find individuals every now and then, like you and your wife, that give back, and some of the other franchise holders that you described, Pasco, Tampa. But it does seem, I don't know it, but it does seem that Home Instead has what's the word I'm looking for? A culture of giving back. It's not just a P&L statement. This is how many dollars per hour we make. This culture of giving back in a very negative time in this country right now, which it is a very negative time. Everybody is,
it's very polarized.
Yeah, it seems like your company itself is standing out from that, and that's incredible. Here's your website, of course. It's up for our viewers.
Thank you. I would, and
they could see it. All right.
On that note, across the whole country, I would say on average, I know we've given away about 5 million gifts. It's a fantastic endeavor. From different parts of the country do it, but it is something that when you look at our seniors, deserve it. They've paid their dues. They deserve it. And in a lot of ways, I can only speak for Pinellas County. It's their last stop. And you know what? Some of these folks have outlived their family, or they do have family that can't fly, they can't visit with them. And you know what? Just to know that they're thought of at Christmas time or on Mother's or Father's Day goes a long way. I get a kick out. I don't get to go to not as many holiday parties anymore, but my joy is actually when I get to see the staff, because I'm the one that tends to drive up in a 24-foot U-Haul into the front, and everybody goes, "What are you here for?" And I'm like, "I'm delivering your gifts." And everybody goes, "Gifts? What do you deliver?" And I roll up the back of the 24-foot U-Haul and go, "This is all yours." I get a lot of kick out of that, because I get to see the administrators, because they don't have a perspective that they think they're getting 1 or 2 gifts. We're getting 3 to 5 gifts per senior, because they deserve it. and it's the right thing to do, and it's the right thing to give back to our community. And my wife started it, I just picked it up. So
when does this happen? Usually Christmas Day, Christmas Eve?
We're actually in the middle of it right now. Next week we start delivering it, but it happens from this Friday was one of the first holiday parties, all the way to Christmas Day. Others will hand it out and be there. But nice part is some of our sponsors will actually be there on Christmas Day watching some of the seniors open up their gifts. It's that special. Everyone, they will look up to an ornament, and they make an attachment, be it a name, be it an age, or in a lot of ways they just simply go, that's all they're looking for, and they grab it and they can't help themselves. So it's a great.
I can imagine.
It's a fantastic feeling.
It is. Feeling.
That is.
So, well, if you need volunteers to help unload the truck, I'm in. Just physical labor. That's what I'm good for at this point in life, physical labor. And not even that much physical labor, as you can say. Well, what else? I mean, we really went so off script. We only have 30 seconds left. I didn't even realize that. John just said that. So, number one, will you come back in 2019?
Absolutely.
All right. We will, with Colin's permission, we will have a link on the News 62 Who Knew website that we've been talking about for a few weeks now. That will be that'll be live in early 2019 in January. So I hope we have a link so people can take advantage of this incredible service.
I would love that.
We got 5 seconds left. We have a great guest next week, and it's our last live show. There's only 2 seconds left. See you next week.